Hello, my name is Rebecca Kimbrell, and for my informative speech, I have decided to talk about postpartum blues, also known as the baby blues, and postpartum depression. This topic is pretty close to home. I have dealt with both in the past. I have with both of my pregnancies, my first one being in 2012. That one was the baby blues. It wasn't as severe as postpartum depression. I was a first-time mom at age 20. I did live at least 1,000 miles away from my family here in Arizona, so that kind of hit me hard. And the second time I dealt with postpartum depression was in 2019 when I had my daughter. That one was a little more difficult to deal with since I did have a prior diagnosis of anxiety and depression before being pregnant. So I would like to talk about the symptoms and the treatments for that. So there is a difference between postpartum depression and postpartum blues, the baby blues. The baby blues typically don't last longer than 2 weeks. And the common symptoms for that are anxiety, feelings of unhappiness, fatigue, crying spells, and mood swings. Postpartum depression, as I mentioned, is more of a severe and long-lasting type of depression, which also happens to the mother after she gives birth. These symptoms can develop to be serious, which include difficulty bonding with your baby, feelings of hopelessness, restlessness, severe anxiety, panic attacks, thoughts of suicide, thoughts of harming yourself or your baby, shame, guilt, inadequacy, as in not feeling like you deserve to be a mother or a parent, or you're not good enough, intense irritability and anger, and in rare but possible cases, postpartum depression can turn into postpartum psychosis, which these symptoms are the most severe and would recommend to require immediate medical attention when experiencing these symptoms. Those ones to include symptoms of paranoia, excessive energy and agitation, hallucination, delusions, confusion, disorientation, obsessive thoughts about your baby, and sleep disturbances. This type of disorder, postpartum disorder, it seems like I've heard a lot of in the media, on the news, hearing about mothers taking the lives of their children, unfortunately, when they're infants. I believe that would be a case of the postpartum psychosis. But being a new parent is tough, and it is a beautiful thing at the same time. And I do feel that feelings that happen after giving birth should definitely be talked about more often or brought awareness, because when I was a first-time mom at age 20, I have never heard of postpartum depression or the baby blues until maybe a year or two later after giving birth. I didn't know why I had those feelings, why I was crying so much, why I felt like I couldn't take care of my child. So I feel like it is really important for women to get together and talk, or even after giving birth, immediately after giving birth, having the labor and delivery nurses come in and talk to you about what you could be feeling after you have your baby. As far as treatments go, there are a lot of treatments that you could go through to help you battle that disorder. Luckily, it does go away. It can be resolved. And also, I did want to mention that fathers do and can go through postpartum depression as well, especially if they have dealt long term with anxiety and depression in the past. But treatments, they can include support groups, talking to a therapist, exercise, medication, psychotherapy, which is talking to a counselor or therapist, yoga, exercising, going for walks outside, getting some fresh air can also help you with the depression or baby blues. Speaking to a minister or other spiritual counselors, or even talking with friends and family can help relieve some of these symptoms. But if you do feel like your symptoms are severe and you absolutely need help, I would recommend contacting the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. They are there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I would take advantage of that if you are feeling helpless. And that does conclude my speech for the postpartum depression. Thank you.